The fate of Sean Diddy Combs will soon be in the hands of a jury. Closing arguments have been made at the music mogul's sex trafficking trial, and the judge is expected to hand the case over to jurors on Monday. Leigh Waldman joins us now from outside the Manhattan courthouse. And Leigh, thank you for joining us. This trial has grabbed international attention. Can you take us through the high and low points of what the jury heard?
Cynthia, good to be with you. So what's happening inside of this courtroom behind me right now is the prosecution is having a chance to offer its rebuttal to the defense's closing arguments. And those closing arguments we've heard over the past 2 days from prosecutors and from the defense attorneys in this case have really taken us back through the course of this trial. We heard from over 34 witnesses called on behalf of the prosecution. The jury members, they were subjected to watch the sexually explicit videos and pictures. We heard at times very emotional testimonies from some of the ex-girlfriends of the defendant in this case, Sean Diddy Combs, Cassie Ventura, and a woman testifying under the alias Jane. Both women testifying that Combs used violence and coercion to force them to participate in these sexual acts that were referred to at times as freak-offs and also as hotel nights, even by some as wild king nights. We heard about drug use, but specifically, we saw that video from 2016 played over and over again where Combs is seen kicking and dragging Cassie Ventura down the hallway. I want to read you some statements that we heard from prosecutors yesterday about this case. The prosecution in this case, Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic, telling jurors up until today, the defendant was able to get away with these crimes because of his money, his power, his influence. That stops now. It's time to hold him accountable. That was her closing remark to the members of the jury, which again, 8 men, 4 women make up this jury and had to hear this testimony over the course of several weeks. But the defense, which just wrapped up speaking not too long ago, they counteracted all of those points brought up, saying these were women who were willing to participate in these sexual acts. And the lead defense attorney in this case, Mark Agnifilo, telling the members of the jury once again, they are swingers. They are avowedly swingers. This is their lifestyle, really trying to tell the jury that there was no criminal enterprise here, that these were women who were willing to participate in these sexual acts. Cynthia.
Now, Leigh, the prosecution called more than 30 witnesses during the trial, but the defense took less than 30 minutes to present its case. That's fascinating. And what's behind these 2 different approaches?
Yes, Cynthia, very fascinating. It's something that, caused a lot of people to have pause. Like I mentioned, prosecution spanned over several weeks to present their case to the jury, but the prosecution, as always, has the burden of proof. They need to show without a shadow of a doubt all of the charges that they're presenting to the members of the jury to try and get the defendant in this case, Sean Diddy Combs, convicted of the charges that they're presenting. The defense, rather, they presented their argument right alongside with that cross-examination we saw from the members of the defense attorney's team throughout the course of this trial. They simply had to plant seeds of doubt and say that this is not what the prosecution is alleging here. Now, during the defense's presentation, in that less than 30-minute presentation, they just presented several text messages onto the record, hoping to show the jury that there's no coercion in this case and that there was willing participants in this case. They also drew back to what their opening statements were, saying that Combs is not on trial for domestic violence in this case.
All right, it will be fascinating to see what happens next. Leigh, thank you so very much for joining us.